Welcome back, weebs and gamers. This is Eiji here, back with some more banlist discussions. This time, we haven't done one of these in a while, but I figured I'd do one now, even though it is a little late. It came out, I think, a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to think on it a bit, and also just been kind of busy lately, both with real-life stuff and Zelda coming out. I've been playing that like crazy, obviously, so... But yeah, now we're back, back with some WEISS stuff. And I just wanted to go over the ban list here real quick. Talk about some things that I sort of agree with, and some things I actually don't agree with. That's maybe a hot take, maybe not. You can judge for yourself, but yeah, we'll get into it here. So let me just full screen this here so we can zoom in a bit. Okay, so we'll go up to the Unlims. Now, the Unlims for Mushoku, that's fine. Like, I don't see any problem with that, really. Data Live, I feel this probably should still be restricted. This card is, like, ridiculously good. All these cards are ridiculously good, but I guess they wanted to unrestrict some stuff, so I'm definitely not against Bushi unrestricting stuff most of the time, because for, like, years and years, they basically just, like, never unrestricted anything, which is really fucking annoying. So, now that they're actually taking a little bit more of an active stance in that, I definitely do like it, but I do think this card maybe should have still been on there, but it is what it is. Kaguya, this is probably fine too. This card's really good, but it's like the Ricky, I think, but I think the other two cards are still more important than it. Also, I just don't agree with, like, a Ricky ever being restricted, ever. And then, moving on to Saikano, so this is the, JC card, when one of your other characters is attacked, you can pay one, sack it to bounce that card back to your hand, so, well, this one did go to memory, which was notable, because Saikano with all the memory compression, but, yeah, they did get rid of the, JC from the Monogatari restriction, as well. So, yeah, I think they're just getting rid of the JCs, kind of thing. And then we have the troll cards. So, now we have the Little Buster's Rest event back at 2, and the Kontai Collection Global Soul Support back to 2. So, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, these are definitely really good cards, especially the Junyo. Junyo's always been like a meme. Kind of like it's kind of one of those cards that like people never thought they would actually bring back, but now they have. So, I mean, it's Kontai. Like, is Kontai really gonna do anything in this day and age? But still, it's pretty fucking good card. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I'm sure there'll be some random people trying it out for fun, just to troll people and steal some games. Rest of it's all pretty much unchanged. This is the most of the older stuff, and then most of the newer stuff. Still no Bang Dream unrestricts. RIP. Still waiting for those. That one day it'll happen. One day. So then we move on to Overlord. So I definitely agree with all these three hits. This is like the perfect hits to Overlord in my opinion, because like the Vampire Bride package was just super strong. I mean, just like thrice per turn draw a card potentially. Like that thrice per turn is always also kind of like a meme in like the Yu-Gi-Oh community, with a card called Mare Mare. So yeah, this definitely being able to use its effect 3 times in one turn to draw 3 cards was really dumb. And then the rest counter is obviously a good card, and the level 3 obviously broken card. So yeah, I definitely, and this is just double duplicates of the same card in case you didn't know. This is just the reprint version, so yeah, so definitely really good hits for Overlord. I definitely agree with those. We'll go to Key next. Key, I'm actually not too familiar with because no one in my area plays it, and I've never played against it. But I do know that, like, I did check that this is like kind of like a stock swap Fumio combo. So I definitely agree I see why Bushi would hit that, because they tend to not like stock swap Fumio a lot. I mean, testament that the Bang Dream ones are still restricted for some fucking reason, so, yeah, this, definitely see why they would do the stock swap Fumio, and then this is just, like, the broken finisher card that, like, burns 1 through 7 a bunch of times, so, yeah. And then they added the D-side level 3 to the choice, sorry, to, restricted to 2. I definitely agree with that. I've played against that deck only a few times, but it was pretty dumb. So, yeah, definitely agree with that. And then we move on to the maybe somewhat controversial picks, also maybe somewhat biased picks by me, because I own both of these decks, and I very much like and enjoy playing these decks. But I'm not quite sure if these SOW hits and the Hololive hits are correct. Mainly, or maybe not correct, I should say. It's just maybe my personal preference, I guess, because coming from Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's a couple cards that really spring to mind when comparing, say, like the Alice and the Ayame, the two new banned cards. When thinking about those, they're cards that basically created like a kind of new way to play a deck, like a new play style to play a deck, and they are very unique in that way, and they offer like different deck building strategies that you can do, which is pretty cool. Like even the Ayame, like people were still like making, like innovating on the Ayame tech, even going forward into the ban list, where people were starting to play the Shion level 2 combo, which is essentially foregoes your 6th attack, but allows you to potentially just refill your whole hand, because you have to discard like 3 times to do the Ayame. So yeah, so that was like really cool. I thought that was like really cool innovation and very unique way to build a deck, but then they just like crippled it right away, you know. And the two cards that I'm thinking of in comparing it to Yu-Gi-Oh! Are That Grass Looks Greener and Sekka's Light. Both of those cards allow you to do way different things than most normally you would do in a normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck, which is like playing 60 cards instead of 40 for Grass Looks Greener, so that you can mill a bunch of cards and get a bunch of effects, or Sekka's Light, where you have to play no other spell or traps other than itself, but the payoff is that it's 3 Pot of Greeds, plus a hand fix. So those just offered like drastic different ways to build decks, way different from like the conventional means, which I thought was always really cool. But the problem is that just like much like here, like Bushi, where Konami decided to cripple and destroy those decks like almost immediately, because they thought they were too unfair. But I always thought that they were like a really cool idea, being, you know, forcing you to play like 37 monsters, but the payoff is you get 3 Pot of Greeds, or like forcing you to play 60 cards instead of 40, but the payoff is you get to play a card that allows you to like mill 20 plus cards in one turn. So it's hard to say. Like, both of these cards are definitely very good. I'd probably say the Alice is more broken than the Ayame, in my personal opinion, just because of what the Alice allows you to do. Like, just allows you to summon like 3 11k walls as soon as you hit level 1. Just pretty dumb, and if they can't clear it, then you can just loop it over and over. So I'd say definitely like the Alice card, for sure, probably should be banned. I think it's just a little bit too good. But I think the Ayame card, I think they should have allowed that card to live at least for maybe one more format, just to allow people to like really cook with it. I think it would have been really cool, just all the wacky, crazy tech people could have come up with to like sort of utilize this card or like abuse it more. I think that would have been really cool. But you know, it is what it is. They banned them, and I can't really fault them for it, because they are really good cards. But yeah, I just thought it was a cool idea, basically. Like, and yeah, so, and then the rest of the cards I think are pretty standard, other than this Sortelia card. I'm not sure if that should have been on here. Maybe could have been something else, because like most decks other than the green deck, you only played like 1 copy of this. It was just like extra copies of Alice kind of thing, and just like it's just like general good card. So like I don't know if that's really worth putting it on the restricted list, especially since it just hurts the green deck for like no apparent reason now as well, which wasn't even that good of a deck. So because that was the main shuffler you used for that deck, because you didn't play the Alice level 1. So yeah. And then, but the Leafa definitely for sure. That card is insane. Definitely that needed to be on here. I think if I was going to replace the Sortelia card with anything, it would probably be the level 0 Administrator card. I think that card is absolutely beyond broken. I'm shocked it's not on here, because that card just like allows you to easily get red just by itself. Like, it fulfills its own red condition, and then it's completely free. You just put it to clock. It doesn't cost any stock. It's just free mill. You just mill 4. It also has free level swap, which is also crazy too. So yeah, in my personal opinion, I think they should have put the Administrator card over this Sortelia card. And then Heathcliff and Spriggans, you know, they're both insanely good cards. I could see maybe Spriggans coming off, but Heathcliff, no. He's too good. And then moving on to Hololive for the rest of the Hololive hits. So definitely I think this is a good choice, 3 additional that they added here, because you can still, for instance, it doesn't cripple like all the Hololive decks. It only cripples like very specific ones. So you can't play like Gura Kanata, and you can't play Gura Standby with Ame anymore. But you can still just play like the old Marine Kanata build if you want, or you can just play Gura Standbys just without Ame. It's definitely not as good, but you can still do it. People have been testing it with like other kind of alternatives to Ame, which is like the 2-1 Anya or the 2-1 Matsuri from the first set. So you definitely can build the deck still. It's just you can't play like these specific combination anymore. I was one of the main decks I was testing for a while was the Gura Kanata deck. I did like it, but I did see that like it was kind of like slightly inconsistent. Like usually you could never get like triple Gura in that deck, like almost ever. It was always just double, and then sometimes they would just like live. So yeah, but yeah, and then they still have the Sora cards on here. They could probably take these off, but I think they just had like the shock factor of like when that deck first started winning, that they were like, oh, we better hit these. That's it, guys. If you like the video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and this is Eiji signing out.